Jose Antonio R. C. Alvarado, distinguished representatives, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. At the outset, let me correct that this is not my birthday today. In a few weeks from now, that will be my birthday. At the outset, also let me thank the Speaker for according me leniency during the hearing last May 26, 2020, and for inviting me again in today's hearing regarding the constitutional and legal issues surrounding the franchise application of ABS-CBN. Bago po ang lahat, gusto ko pong ipaabot na nakikiisa ako at ang aking tanggapan sa layunin ni Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano na mabigyan ng isang patas, tapat at mabusising investigasyon na kikilatis at hihimay sa ABS-CBN. Nakikiisa po kami sa mga pagkakaroon ng malawakang diskusyon upang mahimay at mabigyang linaw ang mga issue at ang mga nagkakasalungat na opinyon, pananaw at haka-haka patungkol sa ABS-CBN. Now, this move is consistent with my position all along that A, under Act number 3846 and PD number 576-A, a franchise is required to operate radio and television station within the Philippines. B, Congress has the exclusive and plenary power to grant a franchise, including its terms, conditions, and period. And letter C, a franchise for broadcast must specifically be in the form of a statute. I would like to take this opportunity to say that I am not at loggerheads with Congress. In my letter to the NTC, I only cautioned the NTC of its possible encroachment on the legislative power if it issues a provisional authority without a law authorizing such action. I never mentioned the name of Speaker Cayetano and any congressman in my advisory letter to the NTC or in any of my subsequent press releases. After all, I am also the statutory counsel of Congress, as demonstrated in the Ilocos 6 case, the martial law cases, minority leaders case in Suarez, etc. Number one, the office of the Solicitor General as representative of the Republic of the Philippines has always upheld the rule of law. The Holy Bible in Leviticus 5:17 reads, and I quote, "If a person sins and does what is forbidden in any of the Lord's commands, even though he does not know it, he is guilty and will be held responsible," unquote. This is also true under Roman law, which introduced the maxim, ignorantia legis neminem excusat. Ignorance of law excuses no one. From the ancient times, we fast forward to the modern times. The Philippine Civil Code provides in Article 3 as follows: ignorance of the law excuses no one from compliance therewith. Not every Filipino reads the Bible. Very few are familiar with the Roman law and the Civil Code. But across the archipelago, every Filipino, rich or poor, educated or otherwise, understands the so-called majesty of the law or the rule of law. From my kakabsat in Ilocos provinces where my parents came from, they understand this principle as amin ket ang parintumang linteg bak ng man wenno nakurapay. Translate this as everyone bows down to the law, whether he is rich or poor. In the Visayas, my countrymen would say, ang matag usa, adunahan man o kabos, muyukbo sa balaod. And in Nuevo Iloco, Mawag, Davao de Oro, where I was born, we say, mapobre man o madato, walay gipili ang balaod. The OSG, as the defender of the Republic and the people, has always been vigilant in its crusade for the rule of law and good governance. No less than our track record is testament to this. We have previously fought against abuses and injustices in a long line of cases, some even before my tenure as Solicitor General. Recently, we championed this fight for the rule of law in the likes of the Sereno and the Lima cases. Labang ito, hindi para sa aming sarili, kundi para sa sambayanang Pilipino. We will endeavor to right every wrong, no matter what the cost, no matter who we go up against. Similar to the cases prosecuted and defended by the OSG, the co-warrant of petition filed against ABS-CBN should not be an exception. What the OSG is seeking before the Supreme Court is merely the correction of a legal wrong and nothing else. Ito ay laban para lamang sa kung ano ang tama at naayon sa batas. Number 2, there are prevailing legal principles that place me in a predicament and prevent me from fully participating in this present proceedings. As many of you are aware, currently, there are 2 pending cases before the Supreme Court involving the broadcasting operations of ABS-CBN. One is the warrant of petition I filed for the forfeiture of ABS-CBN's franchise. The second case is the petition for certiorari and prohibition filed by ABS-CBN against the National Telecommunications Commission, or NTC, questioning the NTC's cease and desist order. Some of the issues involved in these cases pertain to ABS-CBN's violations of the Constitution and its franchise, which, according to your letter, are the subject of your current inquiry. Pinagbabawalan akong magsalita ukol sa kahit anumang bagay na may kinalaman sa mga petisyong nakahain ngayon sa Korte Suprema ng 2 prinsipyong panglegal. These are the principle of non-encroachment on the exclusive domain of judicial jurisdiction, and the other one is sub judice rule. In the case of Benson versus Senate Blue Ribbon Committee, the Supreme Court cautioned that allowing Congress to investigate matters over which jurisdiction had already been acquired by the courts would create the possibility of conflicting judgments. It held that the inquiry into the same justiciable controversy would be an encroachment on the exclusive domain of judicial jurisdiction that had set in much earlier. Indeed, as said in Benson, Congress's power to inquire is recognized. However, such could not usurp judicial functions. In the same vein, the sub judice rule restricts comments and disclosures pertaining to the judicial proceedings in order to avoid prejudging the issue, influencing the court, or obstructing the administration of justice. The same rule was likewise used by the OSG in declining the previous invites from various committees in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, where the expired franchise of ABS-CBN and its renewal are being discussed. Lest I be misconstrued of favoring the House over the Senate, my appearance today is without prejudice to prohibitory rules. I come here to heed the Speaker's call last May 11, 2020, and I quote, "As a fellow lawyer and a government worker, we should be working together and not trying to bring down each other, unquote. As a matter of fact, the Republic filed on February 13, 2020, a very urgent motion for the issuance of gag order in the co-warranto petition invoking the sub judice rule. In said motion, the Republic prayed for the issuance of an order prohibiting the parties, including the Republic, and any person acting on their behalf from releasing any statements discussing the merits of the co-warranto petition. I maintain this position, and thus I am not allowed to answer any questions involving matters pending before the Supreme Court. I must tread lightly to avoid violating the sub judice rule. A violation of the sub judice rule may render one liable for indirect contempt under Section 3D, Rule 71 of the Rules of Court. I must also point out that the canons of Code of Professional Responsibility likewise hinder me to comment on the merits of the case. In the case of ABS-CBN versus NTC, the House of Representatives, along with the Senate, has been impleaded by the court as a party litigant. Thus, my mere presence in any proceedings of the House of Representatives to hear and discuss any matters involving the case might violate the Code of Professional Responsibility. As we all know, the OSG represents the NTC in the cases earlier mentioned. As with all lawyers, as Solicitor General, I am bound by the Code of Professional Responsibility, which obligate me to observe candor, fairness, and loyalty to my client, to keep fidelity to my client's cause, and to preserve the confidence of my client. It may thus be the height of professional misconduct and impropriety for me to appear before a party litigant, especially when this appearance would inevitably lead to a discussion of matters relating to an ongoing case.